please like and subscribe.
Before you toast in celebration of Kathleen Kennedy's resignation, please ponder her tenure and replacements. In this video, I'll eviscerate Kathy's record and speculate about Star Wars' new leaders. Welcome to Galactic Initiative. I'm your host Braxton. Jeff and Sean are resting their voices in preparation for a spring project. I will voice this video on their behalf. Lynwen, Brennan and Dave Filoni are co-presidents of Lucasfilm after old Kathy decided her true passion was producing films, not leading a studio. Do you recall her predecessor, a man named George Lucas? Somehow, George managed to write, direct and produce triumphant films and establish pioneering effects and animation subsidiaries. He took on significantly more challenges, yet he created and sustained several of the most successful entertainment IP, including Indiana Jones and Star Wars. Since her first day as studio president, Kathy was determined to outdo George by turning all his IP into misandrist fever dreams.
Put a chicken in!
Her record is fan fiction parodies of Indiana Jones, Star Wars, and Willow with Mary Sue protagonists and wishy-washy antagonists. She hired Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams. She prevented a final reunion for Han, Leia, and Luke. She pushed the sequels at Galaxy's Edge. She approved
somehow Palpatine returned.
Despite its multi-billion-dollar value, she never cared about her inheritance. She never studied law.
We don't have source material.
She never respected her predecessors. She never spoke with passion or authority.
The thing that we really aspire to constantly is quality.
You couldn't have an informed discussion about Star Wars with her. She couldn't distinguish a Bith from a Sith or a Quarren from a Gamorrean. Do you think she, for 1 second, contemplated the design of First Order Star Destroyers, or thought about Rey's backstory with regard to inconsistencies between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker? No. George was obsessed with details. How did she intend to outdo the man when she fancied virtue signals over standards? To her, IP were platforms, soapboxes, nay, cudgels, to beat the great unwashed into enlightenment, and she never acknowledged complaints. To this day, she views her countless narrative and managerial mistakes as stunning and brave leaps for equity in the entertainment industry. Apparently, the cards are always stacked against subgroups that contain champagne activists and their ilk, and their advocacy of a fair deal always disproportionately benefits them and solves no legitimate problems.
We don't serve their kind here.
What?
She turned her perspectives into power trips and her projects into oppression Olympics. Her priorities never lined up with her responsibilities. She preferred messaging, not storytelling. She favored representation, not quality. She fostered exclusion, not inclusion. The Force isn't female because the Force has no dichotomies. It's an energy field created by all living things, and as such, it unites everyone and everything. She had neither goals nor plans for the present or future.
Pay the price for your lack of vision.
Kathy's trend chasing and fickleness discouraged talented people from boarding her sinking ship. If Ron Howard couldn't rescue it, imagine the damage that she inflicted on Solo, a Star Wars story. Don't forget, he only grudgingly agreed to help on behalf of his friend George. She cast her flunkies for physical characteristics instead of aptitude. In just 13 years, Kathy dismantled George's 35 years of ardent, painstaking labor. Her divisiveness and delusion spawned the worst Star Wars of all time, far worse than the holiday special. Consider what was The High Republic, Halcyon Galactic Starcruiser Hotel, and Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Tell me where the Jedi is!
And consider what could have been films from Charmin Choi, Patty Jenkins, and Taika Waititi.
It's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
After each debacle, she doubled down on isms, ists, and phobes. According to her, a small percentage of fans insulted actors and slandered productions because they embraced radicalism and hated diversity. But she was a radical. She injected her socio-political beliefs. She tried and failed to attract a like-minded audience. She disregarded long-time enthusiasts. She manipulated the access media to avoid accountability. She used actors and directors as shields to deflect criticism, and she was almost universally panned. To cope, she accepted her own fabrications. Kathy's epitaph should read, "A lie told often enough becomes the truth." Disney would have turned Star Wars to the dark side with or without her, yet rather than research, collaboration and preservation, she chose ignorance, narcissism and progressivism. A few years ago, I published a tongue-in-cheek apology to her that flagged Disney's agenda more than it actually absolved her from wrongdoing. In practice, her principles and Bob Iger's principles are the same. George was the odd one out after the sale. History will judge Kathy more harshly than me. The Last Jedi will be her legacy film, and The Acolyte will be her legacy series. I rest my case.
I'm glad you did.
What did Lynwen, Brennan and Dave Filoni inherit from Kathy? Well, 2 films, The Grogulorian and Starfighter, an animated series, Darth Maul, You Only Live Thrice, and many pre-production horrors, such as Invincible, The Rey Palpatine Story, Dawn of the Jedi. The main character's name is Dawn, Unserious, a Taika Waititi joint, and Ben Swallow, The Resurrection. I expect Lynwen to support Dave in matters of creative enterprise. Her contributions behind the scenes should continue. She is likely to count beans and drive representation. Her rare interviews haven't impressed me. However, as Lucasfilm's only female co-president, she might find herself around so-called journalists with increasing frequency. Though she is a relatively unquoted source at this point, I sense a lack of expertise and passion for Star Wars. Does she have an opinion about the mechanics of hyperspace? Does she have a conceptualization of Grand Admiral Thrawn's return to the known galaxy? No. But I'll bet she has a definitive scheme for boosting certain demographics in the fields of writing and visual effects. Is it possible everyone was just playing Kathy's studio version of Squid Game? Sure, it's possible. Blink twice if the bad lady won't let you speak your mind. Small samples inform me that Lynwen is a follower, that she has been going along to get along, but she believes her success is attributable to hard work rather than stunning and brave quotas. Again, I assert history will be the ultimate arbiter. In 2 years, her character and competence will be obvious to us through her actions. Dave Filoni, his evaluation is more complicated. This week, fans asked me, is Dave better than Kathy? Yes, he's infinitely better than Kathy, but temper your expectations for improvement. He cared about Star Wars at one point. Does he care now? Or did he succumb to the power that he gained through his support for Disney's agenda? The man has skills, but leadership isn't among them. He's a proficient number 2, not a dynamic number 1. His contributions to the Clone Wars ranged from excellent to maddening. Unlike Kathy, he can take deep dives into the lore. I respect his knowledge, but not his storytelling. Dave understands Order 66. He preserved Ahsoka and added Force users in Rebels, Tales of the Empire, The Mandalorian, Survivor. Basically, every production during his tenure as executive creative director, the escapee scenario has worn thin. Dave understands the Force, but he decided Sabine was a Force user who trained with Ahsoka off-screen between Rebels and Ahsoka's series.
That's not how the Force works.
Both worlds Bo-Katan, Dad Bod Fett, Dad Bod Thrawn, the Dark Saber technicality, Darth Plagueis the Cave Creeper, Din Grogu, the Great Hyperspace Disaster, Lizzo, Morgan Elsbeth, Night Sister Magic, Omega, Purgil, 65-year-old Gideon clones, sympathetic sand people, the power of many witches, zombie stormtroopers. I could go on and on. His list of blessings as creative director is lengthy and damning. He contradicts himself, and George, when he can't think of ways to align his desires with canon, then he attempts to justify his contradictions with 2 wrongs make a right gibberish. You know he's backpedaling when he invokes the creator. He regularly claims to be following George's example based on in-depth, uncorroborated discussions from yesteryear.
We were picking turnips at Skywalker Ranch after we'd put the finishing touches on Ahsoka's first tube top. George turned to me and said,
I disregard established law at my leisure. You may do the same.
And so I invented 500 survivors of Order 66.
Do I believe Kathy pressured Dave into her stunning and brave mission? No. I see him as a willing accomplice, not a reluctant hostage. Grand Admiral Sean caused me to think deeply about his embrace of Disney's messaging and his resultant promotions. Will he change his ways now that he holds the reins? He might fight a guerrilla war to protect Star Wars by night, while he kowtows to his overlords at Disney by day. He has displayed chameleon-like adroitness in the past. Today, as he appraises the once bountiful Star Wars galaxy, he should appreciate the no-brainers that would immediately re-engage discouraged fans. He should distance himself from the sequels, cancel all of Kathy's lingering projects, pledge respect for George's mythology, acknowledge the expanded universe, and tease new video games and toys. Simple. Will he take any of those steps? Don't hold your breath. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out Galactic Initiative for all things Star Wars. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.
I need your help, son.